Okay, Mr. Milson, the document that you have before you is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you see that title? That's the title of the document. Do you see that? It says Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Okay, I'm going to go over this document with you. As a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options regarding your right to have an attorney. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option? Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option? Number three, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option? If you want an attorney to represent you and you have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. Reset means you'll be given another court date. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. Now, if you want to waive your right and represent yourself, you may not speak to the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the defendant, is the person to your right. He works for the district attorney's office. Now, you may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Do you understand that? Be aware that there are dangers of self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities related to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. Do you understand that? Now, at the bottom of that document that you have before you, in bold letters, it states, defendant's choice. Mark initials next to only one choice. Now, if you want to reset the case to hire your own attorney, then you will place your initials on the first line to the left. If you have already hired an attorney to represent you, then you will place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. Now, if you want to apply for court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the third line to the left. If you have a court-appointed attorney representing you, then you will place your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If you want to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, then you will place your initials on the fifth line to the left. Do you understand? Now, please initial one of the 5 lines. You've already initialed, okay. Now, next, you need to sign your name on the line that is titled defendant, and you would date it today's date, May 24, 2023. Deputy Monty, can you hand me his form? Thank you. Okay. Okay, Mr. Milson, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Without an attorney?
Do you recognize this? No, I just read what the title was. Now, do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant? Are these your initials on a line that state you want your case to be reset to give you an opportunity or give you time to hire an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you sign the initial well, I'm going to swear again. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand out. Now, before you sign that initial this document, did you read the document? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Milson, your case is going to be reset to give you an opportunity to hire your attorney. Our court coordinator is going to reset your case. Once your case is reset by the court coordinator, you will be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat. Okay, okay. We'll put it on the same day.
On the same day, even though we know that may not be on.
Okay, now what she's gonna do is place your dismissed demeanor case on the same date with your felony case. And so on that date, you will need to report here with the bailiff and then go to the felony court. And once you take care of your felony matter, you will come back here, okay? And let us know what happened in your felony case. But just have a seat on the corner, in that corner chair. Mr. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session. The court is in session and calls number M329898. Case is filed, the state of Texas versus Desmond Dante Henry. Mr. Henry, you may come forward. Mr. Henry, your full name is Desmond Dante Henry.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Henry?
I'm doing good. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Henry, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Henry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Henry, you may put your hand down. Mr. Henry, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Erica Porter. Ms. Porter, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Ms. Porter, do you waive a record in Mr. Henry's case?
Yes,
Mr. Henry, I have before me a document that is titled Motion to Revoke Probation. In this motion to revoke probation, it alleges that you, Desmond Dante Henry, was tried on November 29 of 2021 for the offense of failure to identify. You were found guilty and assessed punishment at a term of 90 days confinement in Jefferson County Jail, a fine of $700. However, the confinement portion was probated for a period of 1 year. In this motion, Mr. Henry, there are
Judge, the state's gonna abandon allegations 1, 2, and 3 and proceed only on allegation 4.
okay, I'm gonna have to, okay, let me close this. It was acting up. Let's see if it's gonna act. Okay. Now, the state is gonna abandon what allegations again?
1, 2, and 3
1, 2, 3.
proceed only on,
Allegation number 4.
that's correct. Want me to write it?
Let's see. Yes, we need to make that change.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Henry, the state is abandoning allegations 1, 2, and 3. They will only be proceeding on allegation number 4.
Yes, sir.
Allegation number 4 alleges that you, Desmond Dante Henry, failed to perform community service as required as ordered by the court in violation of condition 14 of your probation order. Do you understand that allegation?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead to this allegation, true or not true?
True.
Now, are you pleading true to allegation number 4 freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true because it is true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Henry, I also have a document before me that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
There's one box that's checked here and has 4 letters, MTRP. MTRP means Motion to Revoke Probation.
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, DDH, on a line next to a box that's checked MTRP, which means Motion to Revoke Probation, true to allegation number 4. Did you place your initials on this line?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same line, on the same document that, let me see. Okay, it is. On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir. That's my name.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Henry, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that she went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
Mr. Henry, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 in evidence?
We would, Your Honor.
Any objections? No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Ms. Porter, you've advised and counseled Mr. Henry. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Henry, your attorney, Ms. Porter, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her services?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Henry, I will accept your plea of truth to allegation number 4. I will also find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and your probation is hereby revoked. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, we ask to take judicial notice of the court's file, also the judicial notice of the defendant's plea of truth, find that allegation true, revoke his probation, which the court has already done. In exchange for agreement of a plea of truth, the state's agreed to recommend 9 days in Jefferson County Jail and court costs. He already has credit for 9 days, so we ask to time serve this judgment and to tackle retirement.
Okay. Now, Mr. Henry, the state is going to take judicial notice of your plea. State will also take judicial notice of the court's file. The state is offering that you serve 9 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 9 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $67. However, you will not be required to pay the court cost of $67 because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Henry, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Henry, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Henry, you're gonna follow the directions of the clerk, who is to my immediate right. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Ms. Porter, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great.
Okay, right here.
Okay.
Next case is cause number M333882. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Michael Cole Jackson. Mr. Jackson is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Jackson, you could take your mic off of mute. Mr. Jackson, how are you doing?
I am fair to average. Thank you for asking.
Okay, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Jackson, you're represented by your attorney Dustin Galmore. And thank you, Mr. Galmore is appearing via Zoom. Mr.
Good morning,
Galmore,
Judge.
good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Judge. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Jackson's case?
Your Honor, we're still working on that case. We'd like to get another announcement date.
Okay, just hold on a minute.
These answers. See,
He's here.
I apologize for running behind too, Your Honor. I've been in district court in Hardin County.
Okay. I understand. Yeah, give us a reset date on Michael Jackson.
We'll go to July 26th.
Okay, Mr. Galmore, Mr. Cole, this case will be reset to July 26th of 2023. Mr. Jackson, your attorney will be given notice of your reset and your bondsman as well. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. Thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Now, did Campbell or Garcia show up? They haven't showed up yet. Now, Mr. Galmore, the other two cases, Stephen Campbell and Judas Garcia, haven't made an appearance. They haven't showed up yet.
Okay, so I'll check on Mr. Garcia. I'm not sure exactly why he's not either online or in person, but my understanding was that Mr. Campbell was going to be reset. We actually did a letter of representation on that case just yesterday.
Okay, hold on a minute.
I don't think
Get with the court coordinator so she can check it. Just hold on a minute.
Okay, thank you.
what everybody did, they're not supposed to.
And Mr. Galmore, they received that letter. And so the case on Stephen Campbell will be reset to July 26th of 2023.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, and we'll hold on Garcia.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session. It's clause number M329566 and clause number M329986. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Rudy Abdulio Garcia Rivera. Mr. Garcia Rivera, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Garcia Rivera? You doing good? Mr. Garcia Rivera, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, Mr. Garcia Rivera, you may put your hand down. Mr. Garcia Rivera, you're here represented by your attorney, John West. Attorney West, how are you doing?
Great, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. West, do you waive a record in Mr. Garcia Rivera's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia Rivera, I have before me in cause number M329566, a document that is titled information. This information alleges that on or about March 1st of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Garcia Rivera, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Guilty. And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Garcia Rivera, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on a line that's checked guilty. And are these your initials?
Yeah.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant, is that your signature?
Yeah.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize, he didn't sign it?
You missed that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you my fault, Your Honor. I'm gonna. Oh, do you feel that you have to make it the silent part?
Now, on that document, do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yeah.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have another document on paper that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. West, go over these documents with you? You have to speak up.
Yeah.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Garcia Rivera, are you a citizen of the United States? Okay. You're gonna have to. Keep one on this one. I got the main ones left. Let me do this here. Okay, we're gonna be in recess. Okay, court is back in session and calls number M329566, case of Solid State of Texas versus Rudy Abdulio Garcia Rivera. Mr. Garcia Rivera stated that he is not a citizen. You're not a citizen of the United States, is that correct? And what country are you have citizenship in? El Salvador. Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, I have before me a document that is titled for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? That's titled print name and signature. You're gonna have to, you witnessed it.
Oh, you mean the witness?
Yeah.
Sure. Today is the 24th.
And Mr. Garcia Rivera, the last statement in this document states that it asks the question, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And it's circled no. Is that correct? You circled no? Now, Mr. West, you witnessed this statement, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your signature is on this document
It
as
is,
well.
Your Honor. Yes.
Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, before you signed before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you? Did your attorney go over this document with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Correct.
Okay, and Mr. West, let's see. Did you, pursuant to Padilla versus Kentucky, did you advise your client as to the consequences of pleading guilty or no contest as to the immigration status in this case?
Yes, we've talked about it extensively, Your Honor. Yes.
And he is currently undergoing
The process. Yes,
the
Your Honor.
process?
Yes, you've got an immigration attorney. They're working on that right now.
Okay. Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, on page 1 of this first document that I showed you, the misdemeanor plea admonishments, the document that you acknowledged that had your initials and signature on it. At the bottom of this document, there's a paragraph that's titled citizenship. And I'll read this paragraph to you. It states, if you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that? Okay. Mr. West, would you please have your client initial next to this paragraph stating that he understands?
Yeah. Yep, just right there.
Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, do you still want to go forward with your plea? In this case, do you still want to go forward plead with your plea of guilty?
Yeah.
Okay. And state, I have before me states exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer states exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
No
Did you-
objection.
Okay, no objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. He just put an R right there. He needs to put it.
Okay. Thank you.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. West, you advised and counseled Mr. Garcia Rivera. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor, not at all.
Mr. Garcia Rivera, your attorney, Mr. John West, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yeah.
Mr. Garcia Rivera, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of guilty in this case, the judge, First of all, the state's agreed to dismiss the companion case, which is cause number 3M3-29986, which the court has, and also in exchange for a plea of guilty. State agreed to offer 1 year deferred adjudication and supervision. Court costs $1,000 fine,
$1,000 fine plus court costs.
80 hours community-based service, interlock device installed because it's deferred adjudication. All other terms and conditions for DWI probation.
Okay. No, but I gotta let him know what he has to do per month. The program doesn't calculate it for us.
Say.
No. Okay, Mr. Rivera. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $407. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will also be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $211. Will you be able to pay the $211 each month?
Yeah.
You will also be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class. You'll be required to have a drug and alcohol assessment, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this DWI probation. Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, the state will also be dismissing cause number M329986. Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, let's see, this offense occurred after September 1 of 2019. And his, let's see, his blood alcohol concentration was it less than 0.15?
Yes, sir.
And does he have a regular driver's license or does he have a CDL? You don't have a CDL?
Regular.
He is a regular one? Okay. Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, you meet the eligibility requirements for deferred adjudication. Do you understand the state's offer?
Yeah.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes,
Mr. Garcia Rivera, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Garcia Rivera, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. West, about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Mr. Garcia Rivera, you're going to stand to my right in front of our court clerk. Follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you will be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You need to put you right 3 times, right? Just read on for each time.
that was my last case, Your Honor, today.
Okay, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thanks, Judge.
I'm signing the dismissal.
On the other one.
Yes, you can get the dismissal in in about a minute. Okay, I just signed the dismissal. Next case is Taylor Parker, cause number M310746. Taylor Marie Parker. Ms. Parker, your full name, Taylor Marie Parker?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Parker? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Parker. You here represented by your attorney, Attorney Ralph Kimbler. Attorney Kimbler, how are you doing?
Well, yeah,
That's good. Mr. Kimbler, what is your announcement in Mr. Parker's case?
well.
You want to reset it for trial? Give us a trial date?
July 31st.
Okay,
I'm
this,
gonna be on vacation.
oh, yeah, and I think into the first week of
Oh,
August too, right? Yeah,
Okay, August 14th.
that's good.
okay. This case is gonna be reset August 14th of 2023. Ms. Parker, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Kimbler, this is your only case. You'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Do the best.
All right, okay. Okay. Court